close to you in my dreams. I watch your chest rise and fall as you sleep.
So it's Timmy, and this is Who That, and I'm here with the lovely Kamilah. Now, let me know, why are you back home?
Because it's home and I have to come back here.
And I just love to hear it from people. You know, we do so much things, we go off, some people we never come back home. So, Kamilah, who are you?
That's an epic question. I'm a musician. I am an artist. I like to think I'm a pretty down to earth person. That's who I am.
So here, Who That, we always try to find out the very moment the person knew they were going to be an artist. So, as far back as you can remember, what was the first? Was it the instrument, the song, the artist, what you heard that you knew this is what you wanted to do?
When I was 3, my mother likes to tell me this story. When I was 3, Michael Jackson was playing at the Super Bowl. Was it Super Bowl? And I was sitting in front of the TV, just like mesmerized, like super glued. And she was trying to talk to me, and I was ignoring her because Michael Jackson was on the screen. And she was asking me something, and then I said, and I want to be Michael Jackson. And then she just kind of just let me watch the rest of my halftime show. And I mean, I like to say from I was 3, but like I don't know, like it was a development over the course of a few years, I think. But I've always been attracted to art since then.
Did you go the normal route that you were you in the choir?
As in the school choir? Yes. I did all the school musicals. I performed at every music showcase there was. We had an arts and music and drama competition every winter at school, and so I coordinated that from my house for 4 years in high school.
What school is this?
St. Andrews. Yeah. That was fun. I loved doing that, and I'd always write parts for different instruments, and we'd always do our own little spin on it. There would be dancers and stuff. And my house won every year.
So you were the cheat code.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, no. I mean, I just happened to be in a house that had a lot of really great musicians, and like we were all really excited about that particular competition. So it was always fun for us to do. I've always enjoyed working collaboratively with musicians and just making art, man.
So after high school, what made you think that okay, I can do this for real? What was your next step after high school?
In undergrad, well, in high school, my music and drama teacher, Miss Reese, I'll never forget this. We were doing, I think it was Once on This Island was the musical, and I was at the back of the stage, and she was way at the front of the hall, and she's just like, I can't hear you, because my voice used to be super soft, and so I made a sound that was the biggest sound I'd ever made, and she was like, that's your singing voice, use that, and I was like, what? And then that was high school, and then after that I went off to college. I played a little bit just locally at what is now Volume, what was the Buzz. I used to play there.
Wow, I didn't even know there was something called it was the Buzz before us Crazy Johnnies. Yeah. I learned something new.
Yeah, it was the Buzz, and me and my friends used to go there and just play all the time, and they had instruments constantly set up so we could just go and run amok, and that's where I think I started playing live. And then the Hub was another place where I used to play around Nassau, and I just surrounded myself with very musical, very creative people. Then I went away to school. I didn't do much my first year away, but then I transferred up to Canada for undergrad, and I played in showcases there, and then I really got comfortable with my voice and started working with other musicians and stuff. So it's been quite a development, but definitely since undergrad, I've known this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
So instruments, let me know, what all instruments do you play or try to play or
Over the course of my life thus far, I have played the piano, the guitar, the violin. I played clarinet for like a week.
How was that?
Clarinet. Yeah. I don't know. Wind instruments aren't necessarily my thing. I love how they sound, but
were you better than Squidward?
I'd like to hope so, but I mean, it was a week. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, Squidward's song's pretty bad.
Yeah, no, Squidward's got it going on.
So
as far as
one for Kamilah, 0 for Squidward.
Yeah, I mean, well, you might have me beat on the clarinet. I don't know what his guitar skills or piano skills are like, but I might one up him on that.
So right now, do you only just play the guitar?
Primarily I'm guitar right now, yeah, but I do mess around on keys every so often.
So you could get down to keys if need to be.
If I feel so inclined, yeah.
Like that, if I feel so inclined. So after undergrad, you found yourself, you performed in Canada, and you got experience performing in Nassau. What was the next step after that to get to the point where you are now?
Well, I lived in Toronto for 5 years. One of those years I was working, and then I applied to grad school and got into NYU. So I moved out to New York, and then just commuting to and from home and school, I saw a poster for the Apollo, Amateur Night at the Apollo, sponsored by I think it was Coke. Had a big poster in the subway, and I was like, maybe I should go. That's like what, next week? Yeah, I'll go. And 5 o'clock in the morning, I woke up super early and I trekked and made the hike all the way to Harlem, and I stood outside in the cold because it was February, I believe. Yeah. And my hands were freezing, and I had like tea and a thermos and like my guitar on my back, and my friend Tracy was with me, and we just like we waited and waited and waited for hours because it didn't actually start until 10 o'clock, but we got there at 5:30 in the morning, and the line was already starting to go around the block. I was 86th, I believe, in line. Did the audition. It was really nerve-wracking, and then got chosen for it. I think maybe 400 or so people auditioned, and I think they only took maybe 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you were one.
Yeah, and I was one of them. And so it's
what was that feeling after you woke up early, you stood in the cold, you was number 86 in the line of 400. How did that feel to know you were one of 2?
200.
It's 200. Okay. That was amazing. But even so, that's still pretty good.
Yeah, it was like 1 or 200, and then they split us up into different. So there are 4. Each person performs 4 times, provided that they are placed in the top 3 for each round. So if you're in the top 3 for this round, then you get to move on to the next one with a whole new set of people, and then if you place top 3, you move on. So I think it's like 1 to 200 people.
And how far did you get?
I got to the final.
To the final.
Yeah.
Like what was your emotions? What was your mindset going through that?
I mean, it's a crazy experience, really. I mean, the first, I think maybe for 2 or 3 of the 4 performances I played for a sold out audience, and the Apollo Theater has a capacity of I think 1,500. So I mean, 12 to 1,500 people every time. You have like a few weeks in between to prep for the next one. It's trying to read the audience to see if maybe you should change the song this week, or maybe you shouldn't, stick with what you know.
Was it original songs or covers?
No, all covers. Yeah, everybody did covers.
And you couldn't sneak in a Kamilah original?
I wanted to. I did for the audition, and I got through about half of one of my songs, and I think they realized they didn't really know it, and so they were like, did you write this? And I said, yeah, and they were like, do you have a cover? And I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? Because I didn't prep covers. I prepped my own stuff, and so I did. Unthinkable by Alicia Keys.
Really good choice.
That was my cover choice, and then I got through maybe the first, not even a whole line of that. They're like, okay, thanks, and I'm like, all right, I guess I woke up at 5. I'm gonna go back home, go to bed, and that'll be that. But I made it through, so that was cool. I don't think I had any real expectations of the thing, and I'm not a super competitive person, so I feel like the competition aspect of the whole thing sort of dawned on me belatedly. Like it was like after the fact I was like, oh, okay, I guess like winning would be really great, and like I think the final winner got I think $10,000 or something like that, and then it wasn't until like the days leading up until that last show that I was like, what could I do with that 10 grand? It's like I could buy studio time, I could like just work on recording stuff, I could get some awesome videos done, like I started to make plans for that money. But I mean, it's a multi-talent competition, so it came down to me as the top vocalist of the season, a beatboxer, and then a dancing duo from Japan. And the duo from Japan came first, the beatboxer from Korea came second, and then I came third as the top.
What did you get for third?
I got to have played at the Apollo.
But trust me, some people will never be able to say that ever in their life. So that's pretty huge.
Yeah. It was a wild experience. I'm glad I did it for sure.
So was the Apollo the highlight of New York, or do you have more stories for us?
Well, I recently, August 28th, I played at the Bitter End, which is a small but pretty well-known venue in New York. Lots of big name people have played there. Joni Mitchell, like Tracy Chapman, Curtis Mayfield, like big music history people who have made waves over the course of music history. So they also contacted me, which was kind of crazy. They found my video online and they were like, "Hey,
Was this 1600?
it was
I
1600
love
miles."
that song so much.
Thank you. Yeah, it was 1600 miles. The guy was like, "Yeah, I found your video online. Would you want to play here?" And I'm like, "Yes, I would like to play here. Is this a joke? Are you kidding?" And he's like, "No, I found you, and we'd like to book something with you." And so I was like, "Great." And so I did, and like for my first major show since I was truly ready to launch the career. Like I'd like to think that I did pretty well. It was like maybe 50 or 60 people came out. The venue's really not very big, so and then I got invited to come back whenever I want, which is nice. So when I go back to New York next time, I'll be booking more gigs. That's the goal.
And your home, what's up with your home? You performed at Volume. How was it? You after Apollo and everywhere. How does it feel to in front of your own people?
It's honestly, it was kind of scarier because I feel like there's more.
Bahamians are rude. Bahamians are rude.
Well, the Apollo audience can be really rude too. They're notorious.
I don't think no one is worse than Bahamian.
No, that's not necessarily true. No, honestly, I felt like I had a duty to really do well. Like I'd been away all this time, and it's like, what do you have to show for it, kind of thing. And I always want to make sure that, like, you want to make your own people proud. It's like the same. It's like wanting to make your parents proud in the same way. You know what I mean? You don't want to go off and like mess up or not do well and then come back and have nothing to show for all the time that you spent away from home, So in that sense, it was a little nerve-wracking. But it was also at the same time a very comfortable space. Like I love Volume. I love the family there. Like I love the energy of that space. And it, again, for me, that physical space has a lot of history for me because that's where I started playing. Under different management, called a different thing, but like that physical space was where I decided that I was going to try this thing,
So you're just coming back home, essentially.
That's what it felt like. Yeah. It was really nice to sort of to be in that environment again, and then have some of those people still there, and like, just be able to share. Everybody, the crowd was super warm. It was lots of fun.
Talk to me about the opener of your show.
Yeah, Moon Jelly. She's a friend of a friend, super, super talented, quirky, awesome human. Like just very, very sweet person. It was awesome to meet her. That was actually the first time I was meeting her in person when I, got to the venue to play for that night. But she's super, super talented. She's clearly a mesh of a lot of different things. But yeah, everybody check out Allie Moon Jelly.
So at the end of that, we always trying to figure out what do you have next. What can you tell us that we can look forward to in the upcoming months?
I'll be gigging, and I'll be recording as many of those gigs as possible. So there will always be live performance videos up. I intend to get in the studio come the new year. I've started, reaching out to producers and just messing around with my own sound because, recently bought a sampler and a loop pedal, and I'm just going to be messing with stuff to figure out what
Kamilah, the producer.
I don't know that I'm a producer. I hope to be able to produce one day. I don't necessarily have the skill set yet for that, but I think it's really important as an artist to have a firm grasp on what it is I want my sound to be. And I have a real problem with sort of handing over my material to somebody for them to, there's a degree of collaboration that's inevitably, part of the process, but I really think it's important for me to go in because, my music, these are my babies, like my songs are my babies, and I need them to I need to give them everything that I want them to have in order for them to have had the best shot, in my mind. So I want to go in, to a studio working with somebody who, the energy feels right, like the space feels good, and everybody's on the same page, and I can talk freely about how I want this done and things I like, things I don't like, and I'm open to,
Suggestion.
Yeah, exactly. And having people share what they felt of the music and where they thought it was going to go or whatever, and then finding a happy medium, or just going with what I like or going with what they like, but feeling confident that it's the right space and the right time and all the right energies going into the stuff.
For the people who want to follow you and keep up with you, just tell them where they can find you.
All right, I've got a website that's launching next year. I am Kamilah.com. That's IamKamilah.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Facebook/I am Kamilah. Instagram and Twitter are Iam_Kamilah. That's where you can find me.
That's where you can find her. Hopefully we get more music, more shows. And this has been Who Dat?
I'm close to you in my dreams. I watch your chest rise and fall as you sleep. If I close my eyes tight enough, I can hear you breathe. Yeah. But when I wake up, you're nowhere near me. With these 1,600 miles between us, there's 1,600 miles. And when all I want is you, these 1,600 miles just won't do. I get by on memories of your honey kiss and my shaky knees. How much I love you, baby, I cannot believe. Yeah. But you're not here, darling, you're not here, and it's killing me. With these 1,600 miles between us, 1,600 miles, and when all I want is you, these 1,600 miles just won't do. Oh, 'cause sleeping on your chest is the best kind of sleep I ever get. I hear your heart and my body falls at ease. How much longer till I touch you, baby, please? It's getting hard for me with these 1,600 miles. 1,600 miles. And when all I want is you, these 1,600 miles. Say when all I need is you, these 1,600 miles. Say when all I want is you, these 1,600 miles just won't do. They won't do.